Nuclear energy has a huge potential for becoming one of our main energy sources, and you might be wondering why it is not becoming more popular. This is because it faces multiple challenges within developing and developed countries. In developing countries, there is always the question of security and safety of the planet because many governments are corrupt. Developed countries with nuclear weapons are less likely to want to give up their weapons that they have spent millions to have. However, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, disarmament and stronger security around power plants is a must for nuclear energy to become a main power source. Politically speaking, nuclear energy is quite controversial. Major political officials in the United Kingdom and the United States object to other countries having access to nuclear energy because of the fact that terrorism in developing countries is widespread and nuclear energy could get into the wrong hands. Processing nuclear energy can also be extremely dangerous. One of the most well-known accidents occurred at the Three Island Power Plant in Pennsylvania. Around 200,000 people had to be evacuated because of radiation exposure. A lack of cooling water around the reactor core caused overheating and radiation release. Additionally, many workers died of cancer from radiation, exposure to radiation, and burns. Another example of the dangers of nuclear plants can be seen in Ukraine, in which at least 30 firefighters and workers died from exposure burns and an explosion at the facility. Later on, more died from cancer. Even meat and dairy farms were contaminated. More recently, a 9.0 magnitude earthquake and a tsunami in Japan caused the release of radioactive gases and an explosion where over 100,000 people had to be evacuated. Besides radiation exposure, there are also several negative environmental effects that come with generating nuclear energy. Because nuclear energy requires uranium, there will always be leftover uranium tailings and reactor fuel, which are both considered to be toxic waste. There are special regulations for transportation, disposal, and handling that are all energy intensive. Secondly, nuclear energy itself is a human health hazard and environmental hazard and can even harm crops and animals, as seen at the power plant accident in Ukraine in 1986. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed.